Guys, how's it going? I was just thinking of the idea that, when we talk about temperament, that could be in light of the Big Five Factor model, that could be in light of the Enneagram, that could be in light of the Myers-Briggs and associated theories in Jungian typology. When we talk about personality theory, well, some of us naturally react, don't we? We think, oh my goodness, well, I'm being put inside of a box. I'm being given a label. I am being stigmatized. I'm not just an INFP. I'm not just an ESTJ. There's more to me than my Enneagram type. And I think this comes from a very real place of our humanity. We want to feel like we are somehow, free, that we have the ability to be something, that we can choose to, if I don't want to be a certain way, I can will myself to be a certain way. And I think it's important to understand that typology and other theories of personality are really dealing with a domain of objectivity, but through a subjective lens. It's very difficult for us as human beings to see the world as it is. I would argue we don't. We see it in light of kind of how we see ourselves. And that's where personality comes into play. And I think the important thing to understand is that, you can cultivate a different way of seeing yourselves and other people. Actually, I would argue that we're called to change the way that we think in order to change the way that we live our lives. I think that's the big secret. No one's telling you. If you want to change, you should probably kind of start to investigate what kind of beliefs you have, what kind of attitudes you have. And that, generally speaking, leads to changes in behavior. Obviously, we can force behavioral change, yada, yada, yada. But we are more than lab rats. We have brains. We learn. We reason. And we have emotional lives. Now, personality, I think, is a way to step into the patterns associated with the psychological reality. Now, there are patterns there that can be negative or positive. There is a good and bad quality of persona that I think is so important to see. We should know what we look like when we're under stress. We should know the worst of ourselves, and we should kind of know the best of ourselves. Because we should know that what it means to be, psychologically grounded, in control, the healthy kind of control. Have order to our lives rather than being caught up in chaos. So this video was to talk about personality not as a limiting factor, but as a way to adjust our frame of reference, our perspective, our attitude on the world at large, by understanding that I am somehow different. I am somehow able to relate in this way. That could be agreeableness, that could be conscientiousness, that could be openness, that could be extroversion. It could be any of these traits. But despite my limiting factor, I can become aware of my limitations. And that's growth, you guys. And then maximizing on what you have to offer and understanding it and getting to work, offering it to the world, because we need to do that. So if you kind of feel me and you can relate to me in this video, let me know with a comment. You can subscribe, and I will see you soon for a new video. Take care.